Hello and welcome dear students to a very important lecture of MS Excel, and that is data validation and dependent drop-down list creation. Now we will see that how we can actually validate our data by applying different type of validation using the validation tool provided by the MS Excel, and then in the next part we will see how we can create the drop-down list, and then we can create the dependencies on that drop-down list, right? So first of all, let's have a look at the data validation. First of all, you need to remember that in order to apply different types of validation, you need to go to the data tab, and inside the data tab you have the data tools, and in data tools group you have the data validation option, right? Different type of data validation options are available. We will apply a few of them just for as an example. For example, we have the range of these three cells, like from B4 to B6, and what we need to ensure is that we can only enter decimal data into this range, right? So what I need to do, I select this range in which I want to apply that validation, go to the data tab and then go to data validation. From data validation you can see that the selected range can have any value. See this allow, look at this drop down list, and under this allow heading it is saying any value, means you can enter any value, any text, any number, anything, right? Any formula. But if you want to just restrict it to decimal numbers, what you need to do, you just need to click on it, and then from here you need to select the decimal. Now once you select the decimal option, then you have different option that what you want. For example, I want data between a specific range. Let's suppose I am entering a marks of my exam, and the minimum marks and the maximum marks need to be mentioned here. For example, a minimum a student can get is 0 and a maximum student can get is 100, right? So it will only allow data between 0 and 100, right? Okay, so before clicking on OK, let me show you. It has different option. You can like give a range that you want data between these two numbers, not between these two numbers, equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, or less than equal to. So you have different options. Right now I have selected between. I just click on OK, and now it will actually select only numbers between 0 and 100. For example, I enter 15, it's valid. I enter 65, it's valid. But what if I enter 112? See, if 112 is not allowed, what it's saying, the value you entered is not valid. A user has restricted value that can be entered into the list. Do you want to retry it? It will give you another option, retry. Just enter 76 and it will accept, right? Okay, the next thing is that see, when I enter a wrong value, for example 888, it gives me an error message, this picture and this error message. Now this can be customized as well. If you want some specific message to be displayed when you entered a wrong number, then you can have you do have this option as well. Just retry it, correct it. Okay, what I need to do, I need to select it again, go to data validation, and from here you have this error alert. In the error alert, first you need to select the picture which you, for example, this is the information picture, this is the by default stop picture, this is warning, right? Let's suppose we select warning from here, give it a title, for example wrong entry, and then the message, exam marks must be between 0 and 100. Okay, now come here, make a invalid entry 455. You can see it's giving you the message which you customize according to your requirement. Wrong entry, exam marks must be between 0 and 100, right? Do you want to continue? No. Okay, so you correct. Similarly, you can, if you want that whenever you click on this cell it must give you, or it must show you some information, again you can go to data validation. Over here you have the input message as well. Okay, so you can say exam marks, please enter your exam marks. Now what is it? Okay, now see, whenever I click on this range it will give me this message, exam marks, please enter your exam marks, right? So wherever I click on this list, it will actually I have you can see it is giving you an information about the type of data it can be entered. So it depends upon you whatever information you want to display. So that is how you can actually create the input message and the error alert, and then you can also customize the picture as well, right? Okay, so this was the validation of the decimal numbers. We may have other validation. For example, you can see from setting, any value, whole numbers, decimal, list, date, time, text, length, custom. Just for giving you another example, let us validate the date. Okay, so over here I select this range, go to data validation, and from data validation I select date. And actually this range can only contain date. So again we have different options for date as well. If you want a date between two specific dates, you need to select between. Not between means if you do not want the date to be between in two specific dates, equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, and less than, equal to. So all the different operations that can be applied on the decimal data can also be applied on the dates as well. Right now for simplicity I select between, and before just to make sure that we do not make any error, let's put two dates into it. For example, okay, so these are the two dates. Go to data validation, select date, select between. So you only want your date to be between these two dates. Which two dates? The start date and the end date. So the date can be between 1st January 2020 and 1st January 2021. I select OK, come to date, enter a date 1/4/2020. It's absolutely valid. 1/4/2025. I don't know if I selected this cell or not. Let's try on this one. Just to confirm, I don't know if I selected this or not. Date between this start date, this end date. Okay, see, I've entered the wrong date. I've entered 2034 and it's not allowing me. It's saying the value you entered is not valid because I put a constraint on it, and I actually validated the data, and the restriction was that the date can only be between 2020 and 2021. If I enter the correct date, 1/4/2020, so you can see it's validated. Okay, so you can also customize the error message and the input message in that date as well, right? Okay, you can try other options like greater than date, less than date, not equal to, not between. These type of things can be easily understood then. Okay, the next thing is the text. Okay, for example, let's come here, let's select the range. Okay, data validation, text length. Okay, so again it is giving me the same option. So again I select, for simplicity I select the between, and then I select that the minimum range for the text should be 3 and the maximum should be 5. I press on OK, and now let's enter A, B, C. It's validated. A, B, C. See, AB is not allowed because AB is less than 3, and let us try greater than 5 as well. ABCDHI. Again it's not allowing because we actually put a constraint on that cell that the range of the text or the size of the text should be minimum 3 and maximum 5. So it will not allow. It will give you another option, another try, and here it is, it's working. So similarly you have different types of data validation inside the data tab, and in data validation option you can actually customize your input message, your error alert, and then similarly you can select whatever you want in a particular cell or a range of cell from that portion. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now coming towards the drop down list, what do we mean by the drop down list? We have these two countries, Pakistan and India, and their four cities: Islamabad, Peshawar, Karachi, Lahore belong to Pakistan, and Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, and Lucknow belong to India. Now, what I want is that I want here a drop down list. For a drop down list, what I want that a country's name should be displayed here, and if I select Pakistan from here, this drop down list should actually show me the cities of Pakistan, and if I select India here, then this drop down list should show me the cities of India. So that is called a dependent drop down list, because this drop down list would be dependent on this drop down list, right? Okay, so what I need to do, that first of all I need to create a named range of cells. Okay, I need to give this range the name Pakistan and this range the name India. This can be directly done. Just select this data Pakistan, press Control, and now select this one. So both the ranges are selected. Go to Formula tab. From here you can actually create a name. This is actually the name manager which defines the name. You can see the group defined names. Create from selection, and the top row. The top row would be given name. Just select the top row. OK, and now you see what happened. Just click over here, and over here you see two named ranges are created. When I select India, it selects this range, and when I select Pakistan, this select this range. Okay, now come to the country. Create a drop down list here. Data validation. Create a list over here, and in the list just give this entry and this entry, and OK. Wait a minute. Okay, now you can see that the drop down list is created, India and Pakistan. Now over here I want the dependent drop down list. That list or the values of this list will be dependent on whatever is selected over here, right? Okay, so click on this cell, go to data validation. From here you can select the list, but now in the place of source you need to write a formula. Just clearly you need to have the understanding of it. Is equal to indirect, and in indirect select this drop down list. Okay, you can see it's showing you the $sign with J10. This is actually showing that this is not a simple cell, rather than it is a drop down list. It contains a range. Okay, select OK. The drop down list is created. You can see over here I have selected Pakistan, and now when you click on this drop down list, it is showing Islamabad, Peshawar, Karachi, and Lahore. And when I have selected India, it is showing Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, and Lucknow. So that is how you can create a drop down list. Okay, remember that this drop down list is dependent on this drop down list, but first of all you need to actually give the name to these ranges, because remember that this is a complete range, and the name of this range which we gave was Pakistan. And again when we select India was actually the name of this range. Okay, is it clear? So I hope it would be clear, and you would be now clear about the data validation option and creating drop down list and dependent drop down list. Okay, so I hope it is clear. If you have any question, you may write me down. Please subscribe to the channel for upcoming videos. Stay tuned. Thank you very much, students.